Welcome to all our viewers in the United States and around the world. Today's spotlight on Miami, on books, well, let's say Miami Book Fair. And to talk about it, the director of ReadCaribbean, Jessica Fievre, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me, James. I'm really excited to be here. I'm at MDC, beautiful decor, beautiful host. So thank you for having me here.
It's like home. You're always home.
Yes,
always
thank
welcome
you.
home. Remind our viewers, what is ReadCaribbean?
Well, ReadCaribbean is a program put together by the Miami Book Fair and many authors from Miami and also from out of town. It's a program that focuses on Caribbean literature, and we have different events throughout the year. We have events, of course, during the Miami Book Fair in November. We're putting the accent on all the beautiful work that authors from the Caribbean are doing, whether they live in the Caribbean, whether they are of Caribbean descent and move to the US or to other parts of the globe. We are working diligently for their voice to be heard. It's an exciting moment, November, because we're going to have the ReadCaribbean program at the book fair. So
wonderful. You know, I'm from the island. I'm from Haiti. Caribbean, yes, but let's touch on Haiti. Haitian authors, they have opportunity as well to be part of the ReadCaribbean?
Yes, absolutely. We have authors from so many countries coming to visit us, and some of them have been publishing for a while. Some of them are brand new authors that are getting discovered. And we also have different activities for people who are not published yet and who want to become authors. So whether you're from Haiti, from the Bahamas, Jamaica, come and meet us. We're going to have a program full of interesting discussions. We're going to have activities for the kids. All this on the main weekend of the Miami Book Fair, which is November 18th and 19th.
Yeah. I'll go deeper into the event, but when you talk about the Caribbean, Haiti, for example, they write more in French, in Creole, sometimes in Spanish as well. Dominican Republic is a different story, in Spanish, Cuba as well. So is language a problem to be part of the Caribbean?
Oh, no,
fair?
Absolutely. I know that it's a legitimate question because mostly in Miami we speak English and Spanish, and of course Haitian Creole, because we have a large population of people from Haitian descent, but they are not necessarily featured in terms of presentations. People tend to revert back to English because it's the official language here. But we're bridging the gaps with ReadCaribbean. We're going to have 2 days. One day is focused on the literature in English. And the next day, Sunday, November 19th, the presentations are going to be in Haitian Creole and French, but we're going to have interpreters on site so that even people who don't speak the languages of Haiti can come and enjoy and discover what we're all about.
My producers keep telling me that it's like finding gold on the floor. I won't say that, but do you think that is a great platform for authors from the Caribbean to be part of the Miami Book Fair under the ReadCaribbean?
Yes, absolutely, because if you're an English speaker, we have an entire day of English programming with authors from Jamaica and Barbados. I mean, so many countries. I have a cheat sheet here because so much is going on. And on Sunday, it's going to be pretty interesting because it's going to be translated from Haitian Creole to English. We have a session from French to English, and then we have one session where we're going to have the Jamaican poet laureates. It's going to be interpreted from English to Haitian Creole, so that also it's not just about discovering Haitian literature because the interpreters are available to translate into English, but also if you're from Haiti, we invite you to come and discover poets from Jamaica as well.
Knowledge and learn from different part of the Caribbean. What a wonderful thing. Let's emphasize more, if you want, MJ, on that event. It's open to the public where it will be happening?
It's happening at the book fair, you know, the Wolfson campus where we are right now, downtown Miami. There is a very minimal fee to access the book fair. It's around $8. There's a special price for kids and a special price for older people as well. But once you enter the book fair, all the Read Caribbean events are free. So you can come in the morning and participate to every single session, and it's free. There are some events that are paid at the Miami Book Fair. I invite everyone to visit miamibookfair.com to see which one require to register in advance. I know, for instance, that there is a talk with Kwame Alexander and Edwidge Danticat on the 14th, so that's even before the weekend of the Read Caribbean. This one is $15 to reserve a seat, and there are other events because there is so much interest, we wouldn't possibly be able to fit everybody, that require a small fee. But most of the events that weekend are free. We have activities in Spanish as well. If you go on miamibookfair.com, you can see the list, and it indicates which language the presentation is going to be
and definitely
in.
It's not an event to miss, because the readers will have the opportunity also to meet the authors, to chat with them, have the book signed by them as well, and it's open to everybody.
Yes,
kids,
absolutely.
bring your kids, bring your family members to enjoy that cultural, I would say, bathe, to be part of it, right?
Yes, absolutely. And there's a special schedule on the website, the Read Caribbean schedule, when you go to miamibookfair.com, and you'll be able to see what Caribbean-focused activities are taking place in the Children's Alley, because it's a big part of the Miami Book Fair, people bringing their kids to discover authors, to listen to stories, and we're going to have Caribbean-focused storytelling. There is Lucas Louidon Louinis, who's going to be there reading. She's a storyteller. She's going to be telling stories from the Caribbean. And we also have Inez Barlatier. She's a songstress, and she's going to teach the kids how to drum. So it's going to be pretty interesting.
Thank you so much, MJ, for being here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Stay with us. We're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll talk about the uses of America. Haiti is here. America is here. We'll tell you what we mean by these languages. We'll be right back.
Start your story at MDC. Be analytical. Be imaginative. Be a rising star. Be bold. Be connected. Be the solution. Be ready. What's your story? Be the best. Be you. Be MDC.
Welcome back. Joining us now is Dr. Chantalle Verna, Associate Professor of History and International Relations at FIU. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
But today we'll talk about your book, Haiti and the Uses of America.
Yes.
Why that title?
Well, first of all, wanting to put Haiti first and foremost in the audience's mind, and to help people to think about the ways that Haitians see an advantage of using ties to the American people, American institutions and organizations. Oftentimes we think about how foreigners look at us and what their interest is in us. And my book is really trying to turn the lens onto the Haitian interest in the United States.
So it's like there's a gap, and you try to have a bridge from Haiti and United States. We know that they are two different cultures, right?
Yes, and actually what I focus on in the book is the way that there are similarities and connections between the two countries, and how there's a really long history of that. From the very beginning of the independence of the country in 1804, even some examples from the colonial period, through to the modern day, the present day. The book focuses primarily on the 1930s and the 1940s, which is the time period after the United States ended a 19-year military occupation of Haiti. And I use those examples from the 1930s and the 1940s to talk about some themes that I personally find, and many others have found, very relevant to the connections that we see between Haiti and the United States today.
So now let's talk about similarities. What are the things you found doing your research?
Well, one thing for sure is that both countries have found an advantage in of working with one another. So in my book, I talk about Haitian people who were either students or scholars or professionals who traveled to the United States to study and to gain training and to advance themselves professionally in order to take those skills back to Haiti. And one of the things that a lot of people may not be aware of is that also there were Americans who traveled to Haiti, and that is how they also built up their own credentials through the research and the work that they did with Haitians. And unfortunately, we often don't get a chance to see how Americans benefit from us. We often read about and think about the ways that Americans have come in and taken something from us or given something to us, but not really thinking about how we have tried to establish a more equitable relationship. And that's what I focus in on the book, is the efforts to make that relationship equitable and why it has been very difficult to achieve that in real terms.
Yeah. We know that there are several organizations from the U.S. helping Haiti as well, as you said, but some authors and other artists from Haiti do the back and forth from Haiti to the United States as well. So do you think there's a common point, I would say, from Haiti to the United States, although it may be cultural aspect or political aspect?
Well, in this book, one of the main themes is the idea of internationalism and cosmopolitanism, and what I mean by that is the way that Haitians and across the range of social classes and types of professions, both men and women, different political backgrounds, have had an interest in what was happening outside of Haiti's borders and how they've always tried to tap into that and to, again, be in conversation with people outside of the world. And also the way that they have used those connections as a way of using Haiti and Haiti's relationship to the U.S. and other countries in the Americas as a model of what it means for nations to work together for a common good. And in the book, what I focus on is the Americans who worked with some Haitians in some of those types of programs in education, in public health, in the arts and culture. And again, it focuses on the ideals behind that and why some of that has been challenging, and particularly these hierarchies, this inability for us to really appreciate what Haitian people have brought to those types of relationships.
Dr. Verna, we know that Haiti is like an hour and a half flight from the United States. Haiti, third world country, United States, very powerful country. How do you think the Haiti as a whole, as a nation, could take advantage of the U.S. model to make progress?
Well, I really appreciate that question, James, because that's exactly what I focus in on the book, is for us to rethink that, to not to focus on Haiti and label Haiti or other countries third world and U.S. first world. That when we do that, what that does is that reinforces those hierarchies, this false idea that one country is better than another, and that one country, that we need to look at the United States as the model. Instead, I say that we can pay attention to what models exist within our own country, and in that way establish collaborations with others. It's not that we cannot learn from others, and including people from the United States, but that when we start off with the premise that the better things and the way to do things and the progress and the development exist outside of our country, then that already sets us up at a point of disadvantage. And this book shows how we've really aimed to work in collaboration over many centuries, and the challenges for being fully recognized for what our contributions have been in doing things like founding an organization like the United Nations, in founding an organization such as the Organization of American States, and working to help not only within our own country, but in our region and around the world.
I know that Haiti is dear to your heart. The flag is under your skin. How do you think the Haitian American can help Haiti?
I think by learning more is always great. I mean, I'm Haitian American. I was born and raised in the United States, and I was very fortunate to be raised in a very Haitian-centered community in New York and then in Miami. And through my studies, I've had a chance to learn more about Haiti, and by traveling to Haiti and meeting people on the island and paying attention to the work that's being done on the island, getting that type of knowledge has allowed me to have a greater intimacy in my relationship with Haiti and a greater appreciation for Haiti, so that I can also see myself as somebody who can learn from what's happening and what has happened on the island.
Haiti and the Uses of America. Your book will be at the Read Caribbean. Tell us more about that event and what a reader can expect when they come to see you as well, to have the book signed by you.
Yeah, we're super excited about the Read Caribbean series. There are going to be panelists across fields, literature, scholarship, that are talking about many different countries, and I'm going to be on a panel that has a political scientist, that has journalism, that has an international relations specialist, and myself, a historian, and we're going to have a chance to really think about what does it mean for Haiti to be an independent sovereign nation, and what its relationships with other countries have been, and I think there'll be some really good debate at the table, because we're all going to be coming from slightly different perspectives, but all with a real genuine interest in being able to better understand the situation and to do what we can from our respective vantage points to make a positive contribution. So the books are already available if people are interested in purchasing in advance. It's always great when people come to these discussions having read a little bit already, and if not, they can come and they'll read and purchase, and we'll be glad to sign at the event.
Dr. Verna, bringing Haiti on the spotlight on a different angle, from a different perspective. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
We'll take another break. We'll be right back with much more.
Start your story at MDC. Be analytical. Be imaginative. Be a rising star. Be bold. Be connected. Be the solution. Be ready. What's your story? Be the best. Be you. Be MDC.
3, 2.
Be focused. Be original. Be a trendsetter. Be an explorer. Be the solution. Be visionary. Be a hero. Be the answer. Be the best. Be you. Be MDC.
Welcome back to our last segment. We'll talk about whiskering our roots, and there's no better person to talk about that than Andrea Queeley. Thank you so much for being here.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
It's a fantastic topic, and I keep, I couldn't stop laughing before the break, because so many times we get confused in who we are and what are we doing on Earth. So you try to answer so many of these questions through that book. Tell me more about the idea.
So the book is essentially about what happened to the folks who migrated to Cuba from islands like Jamaica and Barbados and St. Kitts and Nevis in the first third of the 20th century. So as you may or may not know, there's a large labor migration in the post-emancipation period. And so people from the Caribbean really were moved for work throughout the entire region. And so when we talk about rescuing our roots, one of the questions that comes up is, well, what are our roots, right? So, and we see this in the contemporary period now, all of the displacements, so the multiple displacements, not just displacement from Africa and India and China, all of these kinds of displacements that make Caribbean people, but also those secondary and tertiary displacements. So in looking for, who am I and where do I come from, we have to dig a little bit deeper. That's part of what the project is about.
We know there are huge Haitian communities in Cuba,
Yes.
in Dominican Republic,
Yes.
and also in other parts of the islands. Tell me more about, when they moved from Haiti to Cuba, for example. They
Yes.
try to adapt to that new culture.
Yes.
The same thing to Dominican Republic. Are they losing their roots?
So first, let me just clarify. So my project is not actually specifically on Haitian migrants. There's an amazing documentary called Reembarque by Gloria Rolando, who's a Cuban filmmaker. There's also a number of books. Matthew Casey's one that immediately comes to mind, who talks about the history of Haitians in Cuba. But my focus is on British West Indians in Cuba, so people from English-speaking Caribbean islands. But to your point, though, in terms of what happens, is there a loss? the way that identity works, right? The way that we understand identity is a process, right? And so who it is you understand yourself to be when you're 13, 14 might actually be different from who it is you understand yourself to be at 35, right? And so we want to move towards thinking about it as being a much more dynamic process than we lost who we are and now we're somebody else, right?
What do you want the readers to know basically from that book, to the, from the island and also in the United States?
Yes. So I think one of the things that I'd like the readers to think about, that I think my book evokes, is what I just mentioned in terms of the dynamic nature of identity formation and identity processes, and also what constitutes Caribbean people, right? What are the kind of ties that bind? How is it that these migrations, right, interregional migrations have affected the ways that we see each other and the ways that we understand ourselves, right? And what happens through different political and economic regimes in those host countries, right? How is it that people whose parents or grandparents came from Jamaica and who were raised in the revolution, right, or were raised in the Cuban Revolution and who went through the special period, how is it that they understand themselves, right? We talked about language. I think in an earlier interview you talked about language. And so part of the rescuing of roots was resuscitating English classes, right? And so when people first moved to Cuba, they set up English schools, they had mutual aid societies. There was a very vibrant West Indian communities on the island, in Cuba, right? And as Caribbean people know, you don't know how long you're going to be there, so you keep ties to the places that you've been, right? And so the idea of a cutoff is really something that is oftentimes exaggerated and is a distortion of reality.
Nicely said. I know that your book will be part of the Read Caribbean.
Yes.
How wonderful is that platform, for you to be part of it?
I feel very fortunate to be a part of the Read Caribbean series because it is, especially of course in the city of Miami, and this is such a rich community. I teach here. I love it. I love my students. I love the fact that there are people, who are from the places that I am intellectually stimulated by and are interested in the same kinds of questions, right? And so to have that platform here is really wonderful. It's a blessing.
I know every single viewer will go to the Read Caribbean just in case some of them miss it. What do you think they can have the book signed by you? It will be available online?
Yes, so it's available online. So University Press of Florida is the publisher, and we'll also have copies at the book fair. So the University Press of Florida will be at the book fair, so we'll be able to get it and come to the panel, and I would be happy to sign books.
Wonderful journey, and I encourage our viewers as well to read the book. But just in case, we're going to emphasize on it just for you, right? Remind us, why do they need to read the book? Why is it so important?
To understand, well, it depends on who the reader is, but I think in general, really, it's about understanding the present, right? And in order to understand the present, you actually do have to understand how it is that we got here, right? And what are some of the dynamics that are going on in contemporary Cuba, and also in those islands that the people came to Cuba from.
Yeah. Talking about Cuba, we know in South Florida it's a huge Cuban community. My Cuban community, we are inviting you to be part of the Read Caribbean.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Andrea Queeley.
Thank you. Take care.
Truly an honor. And thank you to you as well for watching. I'm James Pierre. We'll see you next time.